Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, yesterday we learnt about all MongoDB CRUD operations from Node, how to handle them. So, connecting with MongoDB, we discussed. So, once we done with this, we have other databases also to connect. Other database means for MongoDB itself, we have another option. What is it? Mongoose. So what is the point about Mongoose is it supports object modeling. So to understand object modeling, you need to understand some more objects now. So node related, some more objects and how object modeling works. Actually, object modeling means it comprises of one simple framework internally, and that framework is actually MVC framework. We call it as model view controller. So to understand Mongoose and to work with Mongoose, we need to know this type of interaction. Some built-in objects are required. So we will see those objects and we will see how to use them in object modeling, working with object modeling. So to deal with Mongoose, so we need to understand some more objects. So node object modules. We need to understand the node object modules. Some important modules are there. We need to know about them. So yesterday I told you Mongoose. To implement Mongoose, some object modules are used. Those also we should know. Then we can implement them, right? What are object modules is because object mapping requires some operating system, server, process related details. Those you can access by using these objects. Actually, we have some built-in objects. So through those objects, we can manage. What are those objects is actual. We are having one module, that is we have an OS module. OS module. So what is the purpose of this OS module is actually it provides a set of properties and methods. It provides a set of properties and methods that give access to server OS operating system. That gives access to the server, that is a server operating system. That means what this module will do is these modules are required to use the object modeling approach. Some modules are used, so we have to know about them. So when we are working with server, Let's open our application. So in this application, we are having some test. Okay, then here we will import a constant OS require and the module name is OS. In Node.js, you have an OS module. This module provides access to the operating system. Operating system means generally operating system, which operating system server is using, what is the architecture version, which version of operating system it is using, and more details. Let's put a for var property in OS, and we are logging that property. You see what OS have. OS have lot of details. Let's run this. And here we are having node test.js. You can see these are all OS related members. OS related members. Okay, you can see here we are having operating system related details, and all these operating system details contains lot of things. And what are the details we are having here is all are not required for us, only few are important here. These are the operating system related details. You can see ARC. ARC is nothing but it returns the operating system related architecture. So CPU means it will return the CPU structure. Free memory means how much memory is free, means how much memory is available. What is the server name? Server name or IP address, you can get that by using a host. Which operating system platform it is using, which version it is using. So some details like how much total memory, which user is currently using, at what time server started time, all such details are displayed here. Online people, everything is fine, audible. Online people, everything is fine, audible, screen is shared. Right, okay. Fine. So these are actually some important details. You may ask like why I need these details. Because you remembered in HTML you learnt file input type file. What is its purpose? Input type file purpose is allows the user to select a file. The purpose of that is to choose a file so that it can be uploaded. Uploaded where? Uploaded onto server. Then in order to upload onto server, On server, we have some limitations, like we will alert the user that you can upload only this much of size. Now, how we know how much space is available on server and how much space occupied by the file? How much space occupied by file in another object is there? We will learn. We will see that. How much memory is available with us? How much he can send? How much it will occupy? How much is remaining? All that information we can send to them. For example, these days, people server space on cloud. Am I right? They buy space on cloud. That means we allocate them 2 GB. You see your Gmail says that your memory is full and they allocated you 15 GB. You almost used 14 GB. How the memory is calculated, how the memory is identified. For that, we need one object, and that object server side, that object is OS. OS is a server side object that gets information about this. Actually, all are not required. Some important properties are required from here. What are the important properties? See. So server side OS details include, one is the server side operating system details include ARC. So it returns the architecture of OS. It returns the architecture of OS, which provides so you can say graphic card process details, processor details, etc. Operating system architecture will provide graphic card, processor details, etc. If you want only processor details, then you have CPUS. It returns the processor architecture. 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 Only processor related details. Processor architecture means which type of processor server is using, how much capacity it is, what type of generation it is using. All such details you can get by using this CPU. That means processor architecture means its generation, its capacity, etc. Its generation, its capacity, etc. Architecture and CPU structure. So we have another free mem. It returns the total free memory on server. The total free memory on server. Actually, it returns in bytes how much memory is there on server. So another one is a host name. host name. It returns server name or its IP address. Server name or IP address. Another is version platform. So it returns the OS type, operating system type. Another one is version. It returns the server OS version. These are enough. All are not required. These are important. So, operating system related details. So, operating system related details we can access by using these methods. The CPU architecture, its generation, its capacity. These are required in some occasions. In next level, when I show you Mongoose, some of these we use. Suppose you see we are using MongoDB. What is the MongoDB server name? What is its IP address? What is its port number? Instead of writing it manually, sometimes in some computers it may change. Because here we are using 127.0.0.1. In your companies it may change. It may have different. Then how do you connect? How do you know the IP address? What we do is, we don't write the IP address manually. We will get the IP address by using an object. And which object can get that? OS. So later when you are working with some backend connections, you cannot exactly write the IP address port numbers because they may be changing. They may not be fixed. In that case, we need to learn some techniques which can automatically access them and automatically use them, right? So that you can access by using this. Suppose you see now how to handle that. I am using simple importing OS module and console.log. I want to know the server processor architecture, which processor they are using, how much capacity. So we have OS dot CPU. CPUs is a method. This method will get you the information about the processor. That means you see now, when I run this test.what.js. When we run test.js, it will get you the CPU structure. Node. It is directly running it, node test.js. It will get the structure. You can see. So it is an array. In that array, there is an object. In that object, it is getting the model. Model is Intel. What is its capacity? What is its speed? All that information. You may ask, like, why do we need this? As I told you, especially when you are controlling some operating system related interactions, these are required as a server side developer. Now, I want to know, suppose only the model, it is an array, na? It is an array. Array means you can access 0. In that 0, there is an object. In that object, we have a model. What it is going to do? It is going to return only that particular detail. That means only the processor model, which processor model they are using, which generation they are using, we can access specific. All details you can access or specific details we can access. So if you want the details, then you can configure by using these objects. All are same. If I write free mem, it will return how much memory is available. But memory is returned in the form of what? Bytes, right? And you say host name, it will return the IP address. For example, console dot in the same I will give /n, and I am adding os dot, what is it? Another one is platformer host name. We'll use host name. And the host name is going to return the host name. That means it is going to return my server name. Actually, my server name is named with some name. You will have your own administrators or something name. I have my server name by this name. So it is going to return that server name. Now the question is, if anybody asks you like, okay, these are server side details. How do we know client operating system? How do we know client operating system? How do we know client memories? How do we know client platform version? For example, you visit a website here. Suppose I am visiting a website like code.visualstudio.com. This is Visual Studio Code website. And it is saying that download for Windows. How it knows my operating system is Windows? That means it is showing download for Windows. How it shows that my operating system is Windows? That means client side operating system version, all those details are sent from the client object. We are using a server object and they are sent through a client object. And who is that client object? In JavaScript, we have a browser object called, in JavaScript, you will have a browser object called navigator. What this navigator object will do is, client side details it will send to you. That means which operating system client is using, which version operating system he is using, which browser he is using. Actually, navigator is for browser. You have location. Location is for other details like IP address, server name, all these details you can access by using what? Location. That means server side, the operating system details are accessed by using OS. Client side details are accessed by using JavaScript location object. By using this object, we can access the client location related details. I will show you. First, here, let's see server side details, how they can get. So other details are same. That means this is host name. I will do one thing. I will use a simple backtick. And here I am using the processor details. I am accessing the processor details here. And after that, I will put a /n. And here we need to get os dot what. So this is a host name. Host name is the server details. And we are using /n. Suppose I am using platform. Platform means os dot what? Platform. So all those details are returned here. It is going to get the details and show. That means platform is Windows 32-bit, 64-bit. It is going to return. This is the server and this is the processor. These are all server side details. How client side details will come? Actually, client-side details you cannot access here. That you can access through a browser. So add some HTML page, some HTML page, or directly in browser also we can test. How directly in browser we can test? Open any browser. In this browser, let's open inspect, and in the inspect we are going to console, and in the console we will clean up this. We have to just use one object. What is that object? Location. Location dot host. That means it will get the host name. Host name is, this is the host name. Host name means currently I am using which website, the website currently I am watching. Suppose you are watching some any HTML page, it will get its IP address. That means, for example, what is our HTML page? Suppose I will use some demo.html. Okay, here I will write a script, and here I will use console.log, and here location dot what? Host name. And see, it is going to get his IP address. When we run this, it is going to get that IP address and display. And inspect in the console, you can see it gets the IP address. That means what is the IP address and server name, everything we can get. Client side details we can access with location. Server side details we can access by using OS. Client side details, actually client side object. Client side object is which object? Location. Here you can get the same, which platform he is using. What we will do, /n, we have a option location dot platform. So location dot platform is not location, we'll get navigator. Navigator platform, it is going to get that and display. You see the platform is this. Client side details through client objects, server side details through server object. First we will know about server object because we are learning Node. Then we will see some client object also. So initially we need to get the operating system details and server details, server capacity and all this. We can simply get by using this object. Syntactically how you write, just a simple method I will show. These we will use in later programming now. We have to use in later programming these methods. So constant OS is equal to require OS and console log. So we have here OS dot CPU. CPU structure is an array. In that model, we have like OS dot platform. We have like OS dot, actually all these are in expression we need to write. Host name. Like this we can access all the details. So constant operating system related details. One simple question here is how to access client side client side OS details. You can get that by using client objects, like we have the client objects, like one is navigator, another is what, location. By using navigator and location, actually JavaScript have objects. You can write document.write, you can print like location dot host name, you can write like navigator dot platform, like this. Client side object details, client side we have navigator location objects, through that we can access them. Right. So this is one object called OS. OS is an object. So one server side object that we need to know to get the information about server details. We have another one. Another important object we have in Node, we have another object, that is process object. We have a process module. Another is a process module. This we will use in the next level, means in Mongoose and everywhere, some of these are required, because when we are not sure about which port number, IP addresses and all to connect, we need these kind of objects. Actually, process module have some important objects. Let's see. Here we are using constant. So we have a process is equal to require and process. You see the process object for var property in process. It will also have a lot of details. Console log property. It is printing all the property details. So we have like node test.js. These are all process related details. This we will use in various occasions in the next level. It's a very big concept. Actually, you see process have lot of details. It is also having version. It is also having platform. One process can get all the information. It will have events, which you will learn now in the next level. Event binding server side. Client side you already learned event binding. Event listeners. Client side adding event listeners, handling event listeners. This process object can get all the details. So many details are present. You can see so many details are present. In that, some details we have to regularly use. One regularly used is environment details. Environment details will get the environmental variable names and details. This is regularly used. process ID is also very much used for knowing in which ID the current thread is running, application is running. And you have some option like add listeners, remove listeners. Add listener, remove listener are nothing but they are used for adding events. You already client side in JavaScript learned add event listeners, right? These are important. All are not required because it has a lot of things. When you are working with MongoDB, Mongoose, Express.js, these some of them are required. Because when you are learning in class, I will give you a standard IP address. But in future, when you are working in different company locations, we can't know the location, IP address, port numbers. Then we should able to access them through these kind of objects. Those techniques we will see. So process have a lot of details, but some important details. Process is also having version. It is having the architecture, platform. So one important detail for us is listener. So here we will define here. It provides a set of properties and methods. Properties and methods that are required to access current application process details. So it includes details like, you can say details like in which platform the app is running, which version of platform app is using. So what is the environment setup for app, and what is the ID of process for app? What is the ID of process for app? All these are details. So all such details are also very important to use. So when we are accessing various details, these are important. So we will implement them in one example. Right. So when you are designing any application, these details also play the key role, right? So it have details like author. So details what? Platform. So it returns the platform, and version. It returns the platform version. That returns environment details. PID returns the process ID, etc. So add listener. So adds event listener. Events we will discuss in a separate concept, server side events. So removes the event listener. Add listener, event listener, remove the listener. Right. So here the listeners, we will see how to handle them, but these are simple, same concept. First we will test here console.log what we have to do, process dot, we have so many process related details, right? So process have platform, that is returning the platform. So you can see this process not from just a property here. So it is going to get the platform related details. Same. Process have an environment details. Process have an environment details. What this environment details will do is uh, this environment is an object. Then how to read all the keys? Object dot what? Keys. Process dot what? Environment. It will return all the map. It will return a key, and we will print the key. So we are just printing all the keys of the environment object. You can see it will show lot of process related details. And this is important for us. You observe carefully. If you see carefully, it gives us the driver related data. Am I right? Driver data contains which database drivers or which driver you are using, the driver related information it will give. It have app related data. It returns the computer name, right? Computer name is nothing but the username actually. And the other details not important for us. Major is this one. This we need when you are working with different drivers like database drivers or other server side drivers you are working, you need that. And one more important is here this is username also used. Username means which user we are using. Mostly path is also used. Path is used for getting the location where that particular file or folder is present. We have a separate path module also, we will see. So all are not required. The important is mostly what we use, I will show. So this contains which one? Driver data, na? Right. So driver data. So I am accessing here console.log. So that is a process dot. So we have environment dot what? So environment is having a driver data is there, object I think it is an hidden one. Huh? Then here itself we will use. What is it? You know that we can return the key and we can return the value. Process dot environment of what? Key. It will return its values also. It is returning its values also. You can see it returns its values also. What are all the values? It is returning all the values. You can see all the drivers data is present in this location, and program files are present here. These are the program files location in which drive, which browser uh, is default, what is the home path, administrator is the home path, and one more, what is another important one is all are not required. Username we know already, which user currently I am using, administrator. Where all your files are present, it will return the files location and details actually. So in this all are not required for us. Few are important, and in that the major one is one drivers data. So this drivers data will get the drivers. Actually, why you need this? Because we can get any path, any location details easily by using this object, environment object. Environment object gets you some environment related details, which includes in which location what files are saved. These are very important in the next level for handling the communication, right? Now you just remember them. I will show you how to implement them. In the next example, we'll see that. So all are not required. Few details are important here, and through those details we can easily manage. I will just give one example. Syntax I will give just here. What is it? Constant process is equal to require process, and we have console log like process dot platform. We have like process dot environment, that is an object, so process dot PID, process ID. How to get all the keys and values of any particular process? We will see that. That means this is one example. I'm just giving a simple program to access all the details. We can access all the process details by using this, right? First, you know about it, then you can implement it. So, two basic objects. One is OS, another one is process. One more important is another module we are having. We are having a path module. Path module. So without knowing all these modules, we cannot work in a dynamic environment. Dynamic environment means where we are not sure about what will be the path, what will be the address. Because if you know a static name and address, that the same will not work in everybody's environment. That is the reason by knowing this, we can easily access the dynamic location and we can implement that. Path module is nothing but this is when you are using or accessing any file related all details will come here. This is also important because later we will learn about uploading files. I told you in HTML, when we learnt HTML have a input type file, but it is not a file uploader. Can you restrict file type in input type file? You learnt input type file, input type file. Can you restrict only JPG, only PNG? We cannot restrict, but we can put filter. Filter like we can give as what? Accept. Accept is .jpg, means it allows only JPG, but that is not permanent. You can change. Now what is the point is, if anybody select the file and uploads the file, we have to verify the same file we are expecting that uploaded or not. If not, then we should reject the file. How do we know which type of file he uploaded? What is the extension, from where he uploaded, all those details. Server side, the file path, file location, file extension, all we can access by using which one? By using path module. Path module. For example, later how you will implement it is actually constant. We have path, require and require path. Here we will use upload file, uploaded file. Uploaded file is in some location, some name is there. Suppose file uploaded comes from a physical path or a virtual path. How we get the physical virtual path? So d:/, double slash we have to use, because slash will escape. In JavaScript you learned that, right? And we have like project, in that what images, in that some file name pic /, right? Yeah. In that we have a pic.jpg, or we say pic.pdf. Now what is the point is, I need to understand which extension file he uploaded from client side. How you can get that? By using console.log, by using path. So extension name, path.extension name of which one? Uploaded file. What it is going to do? It is going to return the uploaded file extension name .pdf. Then what we do? Server side, we write a logic. What is the logic? If what is it? Path dot extension name of what? Uploaded file is equal to .jpg. Then we will put a message console.log. So uploaded successfully. Otherwise, else we will put a message console.log. We will put a message like you can upload only JPG files. Like this we write the restriction. Client side, we upload the file which we will pass to server. Server side, we collect the details and we will verify. And for that, we need one object for server side. And what is that object? Path. By using path, you can access. And you can see it is going to say you can upload only JPG. Suppose I changed this to JPG, then it says file uploaded successfully. This is very important in future to restrict the files, to know the file. Actually, we can know so many details about file, like what is the folder name, what is the file complete path, all such information we can access by using which module? Path module. Lot of other details we can access, like what? Console.log path have details like dir name. Dir name is nothing but, actually dir name is going to get which file? Uploaded file. Uploaded file means it will get uploaded file directory name. You can get only file name, you can get only extension, you can get only the folder name, everything we can access from where he uploading. So which file he is uploading, which type of file he is uploading, all that information we can access by using what? Path. So path module is very important for future when we are dealing with the file types, file locations and all. Especially while working with uploads, we have to implement this. So this provides some important properties and methods. It provides a set of properties and methods that are used to access uploaded file details, like so it have like file have which one we are using, directory name, extension name, ext name. So this path have one more option. All are not important, but delimiter also important. Delimiter, and one more important is actually extension name is okay, delimiter is okay, and delimiter means separator, huh? And all are not required. Base name is root folder name. This is the current folder name. File extension, path separator, then base name is root folder name. These are important for path module. So constant and we have path is equal to require path module. So path dot ext name of like this. It returns like .jpg and all. I will give a simple example for this. This is the basic example. Right. So these are the details. So how we can access and use them. So this is a module, path module for accessing the file related details, right? Next important, another module is we have a file module. That means we have FS module. FS module is actually a file stream module. This file stream module is responsible for handling files server side, like reading data from files, writing data into files, managing files server side. We can do by using this FS module. Here, as I told you, we can try some, it have both methods, synchronous methods as well as async. So what is the file module purpose is? It provides properties and methods which are responsible for reading data from files, writing data into files. All such interactions we can manage by using FS. So it provides a set of properties and methods that are used to handle files server side. You can handle interactions like reading data from file, writing into a file, open file for read only. All such options we can manage. And what is the specialty here is it provides both sync and async techniques. It provides both sync and async techniques, synchronous and asynchronous techniques. It provides both synchronous and asynchronous techniques. Right. Synchronous and asynchronous techniques. So how you manage this, how we can interact, how we can handle all this? Let's see. Actually, synchronous, asynchronous techniques, now you can clearly see the difference also. What is that I showed you? Synchronous means blocking. Once it is doing any lengthy task, it will wait until it is finished, then it will go to the next. Asynchronous means simultaneously it will perform the tasks, right? We can see that. Here we have different methods for that. For example, let's see here. So we are having any file. Suppose I am adding a file, some notes.txt, some text file. In this text file, I will copy some notes. Just these lines I will copy. I will copy these notes. Now what I want is server side. I need to write a logic to read the data from that file and show it. That means any file on server we can read, we can write data into it. Generally client side, how do we do this? Client side, how we can read data from a file and show in the page. We can use XML, HTTP and fetch. Fetch is not only for JSON, fetch is for HTML files, text files. You can use XML, HTTP even for text files. You can load the data because you know XML, HTTP by default returns response in text. Na? response is text. It can show directly. Client side we use Ajax methods. Server side we already have some methods. How? Constant fs is equal to require and fs. Now once you know this here, for example, fs dot, we have read file sync. Read file sync is a synchronous technique. So which file you have to mention the file path. File is which file? Help dot notes dot what? Text. Notes dot text is the file. Now actually it is having, so this is fine. Whatever it reads, we will store in some location data. That means it is going to read the content from this file and store here. Okay, we will print that. That means console.log. We will print here data. Whatever it reads in a binary form. We need to convert into toString. Because default read will be in binary form, we will convert into a string form. And observe here, actually, this is having a message console.log. Here we will put a title, reading data from file. This is reading data from file. Actually, this is start reading data from file. And after that, again console.log here, end of reading. End of reading completed here. Now see how many tasks are there here. We have 3 tasks. One task is print this message. Another task is print this message, means read the data from file and display. Another task is print this message. 3 different tasks are there. That means this second task, first task, second task, third task. Which one is heavy task? Second is heavy. Why? Because it has to read the data from file and it has to print the data. It will take some time. So which one is lightweight? Task 1, task 3 are lightweight. So what will happen now is, because you are using synchronous, it will not allow this to run until this is finished. That means even it is a lengthy task, if it takes 5 minutes time, it will wait 5 minutes. After that only third. So see what will happen now. When I run this node test.js, when we run this, you can see start reading from file. After that it reads the data from file. After that end of reading. That is working fine. But remember, in the same order it will process. This technique is which technique? This is an synchronous technique. Synchronous technique. I will give one example here. Synchronous technique. We have asynchronous technique. Asynchronous technique is, let's remove this here. We will use fs.read file. Read file is asynchronous. Read file sync is synchronous. Read file, what is the file path? File path is what? Notes dot what? txt. After that, it is having a function. What it will do is, it will return an error and it will return the data. It is going to return error and data. Okay. Now this is actually function, right? Now if there is no error, that means there is no problem in reading the file. File name is correct. Everything is okay. Then console.log, what it has to do? Data dot what? To string. It should print the data. Otherwise, if there is an error, console.log, it has to print that error. If there is a problem, print the problem. If there is no problem, read. Now again, here, this task is first, this is second, and this is third. But First and third are lightweight. This will take some time now, and see what will happen now. I will run this. When I run this again, you see that start reading and reading will be first, and this will perform later. Why? Now you understood async mechanism, right? That means it made a request to first one immediately responded. It made a request to second is taking time. It will not wait for it. It will keep in the background. It will go to the third is lightweight. It comes first, right? This is asynchronous. So synchronous and asynchronous mechanism it works. So it is little faster in. So you can see both techniques like this. This is which one? Async technique. This is async technique. How we can use the asynchronous techniques. So in the node objects, we have one basic one file module. We can read files, write files and all. Actually, we just need to understand these objects. If you know these objects, now we can use these objects and we can implement in our application. So now we can see some more objects are there. Some more objects with mongoose. How do we use the mongoose? That we'll see next session. Tomorrow we'll do that, right? In tomorrow's session, few more objects are there we will learn. Then we will see how to use mongoose and MySQL. MySQL, you already installed MySQL now, right? So how to communicate with MySQL database and mongoose. These two we will finish tomorrow. We'll learn about them. Okay, right.